Siji Varghese, an amazing woman entrepreneur. She runs what is called Leaders in Lipstick. And it is such an experiential work that she does through that. Today, we have her right with us as our guest. Thanks so much for being once again with us at the Sledgehammer's Edge Impact. Now let's just toodle across and say hello to her. Hi, Siji, and thank you so much for coming and being my guest today on the Sledgehammer's Edge Impact.
Thank you so very much, Anand. It's a real privilege to be here with you, and I'm looking forward for this conversation as well.
Oh, good. You know what? I have been quite closely watching the way your work and the things you've been doing, and I think you will, as you are, a major inspiration for young entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, who are, which is my real tribe in terms of my mentees and who I mentor. But you have a wonderful name for your organization. It's called Leaders in Lipstick. And it is so bouncy and yet so connecting. It's so connecting. But why did you name it Leaders in Lipstick? What was in your mind at this point in time?
Okay, thank you. Thanks. A very nice little cute little question, because it's so connected with Leaders in Lipstick. Why the name is, while I was working in the corporate, and I'm like close to 24 years of experience all through. So while I was working in the corporate, 11 years back, I moved out from the corporate and I'm in this space. There was a lot of things that I realized eventually as I came out of the corporate too, because when I was in the corporate space, I would see just me, myself, going through a series of things. But once I left that space, got into training and helping other women, I realized literally every woman out there faces similar kinds of issues. And having delved and deep dived into it a little more, the best thing that I noticed was like, the middle managerial positions by women, they represented close to 25%, whereas the senior management just have 4% representation of women. There's a good gap of 21%. And I would always keep quizzing on, what is that to the senior space, right? We have all the skills, the requisite skills. What is that that's not working? Or why is it that we are unable to move to that space? And that's when I decided, like, if we have to get together, build up a community, help and support the tribe, have role models. There's a lack of role models out there, right? Mm-hmm. So now we have to create that group, that community, which will have those kinds of role models who will ensure that the ones who are coming in new would also feel that if she can make it, even I can make it.
Ah, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. In fact, you're so much in sync with the way I think. I'm so happy to have you here today, actually, because I believe that everyone who has a passion to do something really phenomenal, or what I always term as, orbit shifting, should look at people like you, who believe that, look, if I can do it, so can you. It is so encouraging, so inspiring. But then, Siji, how did all this start? When did this all start? What were your challenges? Obviously you weren't born an entrepreneur. So somewhere down the line, the seeds of entrepreneurship would have sunk into you and would have probably waited bloom as it has now bloomed. When did it all start?
So my journey has been like, a very different one, in the sense, having done my double graduation in microbiology and biotechnology, the first thing was to move into food technology, because that seemed the most relevant in sync. And there my mom comes and tells me, I think this is not working out, so you should do your MBA. And this is in the mid 90s, okay? And
Okay.
so MBA had just started catching up. Then the trending thing for everyone to have that kind of a space. So I went ahead, did my MBA in finance, like a science graduate doing finance with accounts and taxation. I was not able to understand anything. Landed up with a plum job in the campus with a pharmaceutical company, working directly with the CFO. Okay, marriage happened, kids happened. Then I moved into banking, insurance. I was with ICICI Bank, heading branches with Birla Sun Life, Max New York Life. Those were some of the organizations of work. But there was some point in time when I realized, as a young mother, I used to be putting into 14 to 16 hours of work daily
Oh
at the,
my gosh.
and I was missing out big time on something which was really important for me. So probably I just took a pause and said, this is not working for me the way I wanted, because I'm missing out totally on my growing kids. And that's when
Right.
I changed and then thought, if not this, what else do I know to do it by myself? I always, like, coming from a typical South Indian conservative family, we always feel salary, academics, these are something we are aligned to. We never think about business, entrepreneurship, right? And here I'm thinking, when my kid is like 4 and 7 years of age, that I want to be spending more time with them, and what should I do next? And here's
Right.
then thinking, what am I good at other than what I used to do for someone else? And that's when I thought, probably I love to talk. I think this could be something that I could do, is reach out to people, motivate, or something like that. Something I wasn't too sure. And being
Right.
from a first generation entrepreneur, there were support issues were coming very, it was coming in just trickles. Like, do you
Right.
really want to leave your high paying job and get into a field of uncertainty? All those were challenges, not knowing what is coming in, having a good plush corporate career, to moving into starting all over from scratch. That itself is a huge shift. It's a
Yes.
massive
Yes.
shift that you need to have. Moving from there to here, and then having the family not supporting, or little supporting, you could say, all that happened. And finally, I said, let me just take the plunge. So the first 3 years, I did have a partnership firm. We multiple times we went to the drawing board. The enterprise did not take up. We
All right.
landed up after 3 years back to the drawing board, back to the scratch, back from scratch. Our partnership just went off, and we decided to do our own things. And that's when I went ahead and created my own solopreneur journey.
All right.
Yeah. So then Siji got created as her Siji Varghese as a brand. From being from Metamorphosis Consult Trainers, we went to Siji Varghese. And then again, now a little while later, Leaders in Lipstick came in, because again, the enterprise bug comes up, right? So
Yes.
you work.
Yes.
So it's a gradual journey. Every time you start from scratch. You have so many challenges that you have to overcome. And the biggest challenge is you, because you
Yes.
conditioned in
Yes.
such a way that every single time there's something which is like a self-limiting belief with you. Every time you want to move ahead, there's something which is limiting you because of the belief that you have before, because of the experiences you have had. So there's like huge push that you require, as you rightly said, huge orbit interventions, massive
Yes.
shifts.
Yes.
Everything was me, right? It had to start with me, it had to end with me, because I had to make all the decisions.
Right. Right.
Right or
Right.
wrong, I had to deal with the consequences as well.
Right.
So
Right.
these were some of the challenges. But yes, if I had to look back, I would say this journey was amazing, and everybody should go through this journey, because that's how you evolve.
Yes, yes, very true, very true. In fact, yeah, I can see very clearly see what it may have taken you to actually evolve into what you are today. But as a woman entrepreneur, what were there any very specific challenges that you faced? For example, one of the challenges I can talk about very openly with my women entrepreneurs face is gender bias. It's a huge issue for them, and many of them get emotionally hurt to the extent that they tend to withdraw into themselves. And so, whatever passion they had with which they decided to create something really amazing starts dying out, and that is actually my greatest challenge in keeping that alive, so that they can come out with orbit shifting endeavors. So did you also go through this sort of a challenge?
I went through a lot of gender bias, especially when I was working. Primarily because I was in an organization where there was this one lady and 35 men. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right.
And so every time, and I was leading a branch, right? Heading a branch, and there were 35 other men, male branch heads, and one single female. So every time I would understand that there's like total, there's so much of things that would come up, because people would always say, okay, she's a lady, this is all that they can do in that branch, or multiple things. But when I started on my own, fortunately, I did not find too much of gender bias. But yes, some challenges that I faced was not able to promote myself. Second, not able to negotiate myself. And I've always realized, even while we were working, even when that's the fact right now, the women are always paid 75%, 25% less than the male counterparts. So even when you go to do your business, you are not able to negotiate as much as the male counterpart is able to do. You end up underselling yourself all the time. Right. So that's the biggest challenge. So apart from the multiple challenges women face, this is again, you can't promote yourself, you can't negotiate yourself, because somewhere you have a big question mark about your own worth.
Yes.
Am I worthy of it? Do I deserve it? And as I said, no, these are shackles that you've got conditioned because of the society in which we operate.
Yes.
Like you take the movie industry, the Bollywood industry, you will find the heroines are much lesser paid than the heroes.
Correct.
It's across. So even as an entrepreneur, I always find, you put in equal hours, you put in more research, you put in more hard work, but you still find that parity happening, because one, you do that for yourself, and two, people out there also think, oh, men have a different space of commanding the money and women have different. So I find that to be one of the greatest challenge as on today when I am talking to you.
Yes.
As I said, moving out of the comfort zone and working in the effort zone needs a lot of efforts.
Yes. And let me tell you, Siji, this is a very common factor that is faced by almost all the women entrepreneurs that I am connected with, or I have mentored in the past. But there's one thing I respect phenomenally where the women entrepreneurs are concerned. They have the sort of resilience that men don't have. And that is something I take my hats off to, because if they didn't have this resilience, we wouldn't really have so many women entrepreneurs today involved in enterprises and endeavors by themselves. Because I do accept the fact that we are a very male-dominated country. Not only India, there are a lot of other countries across the world which are highly male-dominated. But there's something unique about our Indian women. And that is that, one, they are born multitaskers. I mean, it's amazing how our women can multitask, right from the kitchen to the boardroom. And two is that they have very powerful morals. So they make very good people's people. They're able to create their internal customers very powerfully. In fact, Siji, I spent 40 years in the corporate world, right from a management trainee to a CEO, and my best bosses actually were women, because I could understand what they wanted. They could understand what I wanted. There was very little politics that happened. There was a lot of encouragement, and it made me never to look behind me every time I was working with them. So I think, and that may be the reason why when I finally teed off, from the corporate, I said, I must get back to give the world what I've learned, and it must be with women, because I think, women power is very powerful. Men don't understand that, and then again, if you look at the post-pandemic era today, where over 25 crore people have lost their jobs, it's the women who stepped up and saying, all right, you've lost your job, doesn't matter, I'm there, I'm going to handle it. And I have had an influx of women reaching out to me the last couple of months saying, I want to become an entrepreneur. This is my dream. This is what I want to do. Tell me how to do it. So it's amazing. It's really amazing how the amount of resilience women have. Siji, I'd like to know a little bit more about leaders in lipstick. What does leaders in lipstick do? What are they involved in?
Right. So as you rightly said about the resilience part, in fact, it's a real fact is that you, because of the basic nature with which a woman is created, the relationship-based leadership is what every woman is, they connect with that. They connect with the family, they connect with everyone around them. They have an all-inclusive kind of a space,
Yes,
which is
yes,
very beautiful.
yes,
And today we talk about all inclusive, that's become like a culture for many
yes,
organizations, but you
yes,
would
yes,
find the women basic inherent quality of hers is to take everyone along. It's an all
yes,
inclusive anything. It's
yes.
all about resilience, because even if I had to talk about major mishaps in my life, literally a fatal road accident, which left me off 3 months bedridden, to having
Right,
a major surgery in my life. Every time there is a going back again, they're starting a lot of things right from scratch. Then you
right,
have a lot of things that you're really questioning, and you're evolving, you're transforming, because every time there's a setback,
right.
there's a more stronger comeback.
Wow. Oh, that is wonderful. What a beautiful way to say it. That every time there's a setback, there's a stronger comeback. And that is very, very Indian woman. Wonderful.
So I always say, never ever worry that you have a setback. In fact, say, I'm so thankful setbacks happen, because I've always believed that every setback is actually a setup for a stronger comeback.
Wow.
And
Absolutely.
so that's the way we are built, the resilience. In fact, everybody, I can see that during the pandemic we are slowly building on that. So talk about resilience, talk about great tech, about everything. And if I have to talk about leaders in lipstick and the women who are signed up, like, it's a proper 11-week journey
Wow.
where we take them through a totally highly immersive, exhaustive, experiential learning and journey. And the journey is massive, because we can find the shifts right from the second week onwards. There are so many things that we don't, as women, get the time to introspect, reflect, or know a lot about things about ourselves. So while we were in this journey, we wanted to ensure that there are a lot of these self-limiting beliefs with which we hold on for the rest of our lives.
Right.
So we
Right.
wanted people, especially women, to untie themselves out of those boundaries, expand their boundaries, have perspectives which can help them to move forward in life. And so when I say it's an immersive experiential journey, it's a lot of questions asking to yourself, a lot of awareness that's creeping in, a lot of understanding who you are, because the moment you understand yourself and you're in awareness about that, rest of the things just falls in place.
Absolutely. Wonderfully said, Suji. Wonderfully said.
So
Excellent.
it's a 11-week journey. We take them through their self-limiting beliefs, make them come out of that, their personal vision, mission, to helping them how to handle crucial conversations, to getting into negotiation skills, learning about decision science, blue ocean strategy, how to have those leadership qualities wherein you can move to the senior management, because these are the women who are aspiring and who also have the potential to move to the next level, that
Yes.
are not able to do because of many factors out there. And those factors are addressed one at a time. They're spending
Right.
around 65 good quality hours with a group of women from different organizations, different industries, different domain expertise, from 8-year experience to 25 years of experience, a heterogeneous group, amazing pure learnings, amazing bondings. And what comes out at the end of the 11th week is someone whom they have met for the first time after a long time.
Wow.
So leaders in lipstick is basically getting them to face their best or unravel their best versions and move ahead with their journeys, both personally and professionally. More to do with their professional, because when they're aligned personally, they find to bloom professionally becomes much easier. So it's
Wow.
not to do with the conditioning. So leaders in lipstick is all for the women leaders who want to make it there, the women entrepreneurs who know that they have it in them and they just want to bloom it into the next level of whatever success means to each one of them.
Excellent. Excellent. Siji, you have got me inspired. Absolutely inspired. I mean, it is so rare to actually see someone like you so passionately concerned about women entrepreneurship in the country, right? And to do so much. I mean, it's a highly experiential session that you take, those 11 days, right? 11 days.
11 weeks.
11 weeks. 11 weeks. My gosh, it is amazing. And how you manage to keep 11 weeks so experiential is an absolute new journey anyone will be taking, probably. So I think that's amazing. Siji, finally, all the viewers here watching you, I'm sure some point throughout this entire conversation, they would have loved to get into your shoes. Is there something inspirational that you can tell them?
Yeah, I would love to say one thing for sure, that each one of us have our own beautiful self. There's something that is within you, right? So 3 things that I feel work the best for me is, like, always remember, the setback is a setup for a strong comeback. The second is, as you move along, remember, aspire to inspire before you expire.
Because this is beautiful. Aspire to inspire before you expire. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely marvelous. And I'm going to rob that line away from you for all my women entrepreneurs. All right. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's always good to live a life whereby people around you feel that vibes to take on to you, get a wee bit inspired, because it's a ripple impact, right? So I have able to create with my leaders in lip sync, those 14 women in the community, they go and create that ripple impact to someone else. And you make the world a better place to live in for yourself, for your future, for your kids, for everyone around you. And that itself is very soul satisfying and gratifying, really.
Yes.
And last but not the least, we have a race that we all are running for our own journeys. Remember, money is important, but also keep a tab on everything that money can't buy. Just see that is also on track. So
all right.
Things that money can't buy, keep checking on them, that you haven't lost them either. So what I want to say is that be happy, we have a balanced and a moderate life, because this is where it's like saying that you don't need to have a lot of stuff to show, but you need to have many stories to share. So keep creating that stories and the memories, because that's what's going to define you at the end of the day.
Wow, Siji, you have got me super, super inspired now. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Siji. And thank you so much for being on the show. It was so awesome talking to you. And I'm sure all the viewers there watching will be as enchanted as I am, not only with that amazing intellect and thought process that you have, but that awesome and beautiful smile.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's been my privilege, and it's been wonderful chatting with you and knowing you too, and the kind of amazing work and contribution that you are doing. And I'm sure you will make that impact, the ripple impact that's so much needed for people around us.
Thank you so much, Siji. Thank you so much, Siji. And stay blessed, stay safe.